Okay. Well, I know that a lot of people have been following you on Epistle, and you've been sending out some really good newsletters and some videos just to update a lot of the supporters and those that are praying for you with just what's been happening. But I would love to revisit just even your transition coming onto the missions field, arriving in South Africa, and what that was like. Can we kind of start there?
So we arrived October 3rd. We had left the States October 1st, and so travel time was quite a bit in the air and on layovers also. And uh, arriving here, we were really welcomed with open arms. The team here was ready to receive us. They received us at the airport and just welcomed us right in. They've been expecting us for a while. So it was really nice, unexpected. We knew that they were busy and they had stuff going on. And so we were just wanting to land, get into a car, get to our Airbnb and just, rest up and not have any kind of expectations, from the team. We knew we would have time to meet up with them. But yeah, a majority of the team showed up, whoever could, and it was awesome.
And then they met us at our Airbnb that once we got to Stellenbosch, we started unloading all our bins and boxes and stuff. And then they started showing up, and it was a nice welcome. It was great because it wasn't like they wanted to stay and chat. They just wanted to welcome us. Because we were traveling for so many hours, and it was really nice though.
We're trying to understand, the jet lag and all that, and just give us our space.
But Austin and Tori were the ones who okay, let's get you the SIM cards and let's get you all the information. Start off right away.
Yeah, and with the phone to be making phone calls back home and stuff. So all the practical stuff.
Yeah, we did that literally first day. So within the first week of us landing, we had opened up a bank account. We had our new numbers. We had a bunch of stuff going smoothly, and it was all the help from the team, a lot of help from Austin for doing a handbook.
A handbook on how to do X, Y, and Z. Go get your phone. This is the company you want. Go to this bank, talk to this person, let them know that you're with us. You want to get your lease so that you can go and do this other thing with the motor vehicle department. And so it was really laid out. And so arriving and just having that given to us and feel like, okay, we know once we're ready to move, we know what the steps are to take. And but besides that, getting here and pretty early on, stepping into community and people knowing about us and expecting us and welcoming us in, it was really awesome. It was a blessing for us to see that people have been praying for us and just ready to receive us.
Well, it was crazy too because we land on a Thursday. That Saturday we had a going away party for the Petersons. We didn't. They had it at one of our members' house, and
the Petersons are another couple that had invested their time in the missions field.
Yeah. And they left
a week.
A week after we landed. Wow. So it was a quick transition. Yeah. But we met half of the church just there at the house. Mm-hmm. And so it was nice because then that Sunday, had already met people, they were welcoming us into other friendships and stuff. Yeah. So we got into the community right away. And it was really neat. They're very, very open and very welcoming.
Yeah. So arriving was really smooth. Yeah.
When it comes to, obviously you had your arrival time, and I imagine that there were some ups and downs in the process of, figuring out how you were going to get, to your destination, the logistics, the fundraising, the ministry partner development, the meeting with different people, getting things in order, Bailey, all these different things. Was there a moment where, I imagine there was a moment where there was a sense of relief that like there's all this tension and you're like, all right, we just got to get there, and you're running on this adrenaline, and then there's this moment where you're like, God, thank you so much. We're here. You know, was there a moment like that for you guys?
Yes, I would say the first evening, or the first evening we got here, because of I have Bailey, I have her in my arms, and then it was like, okay, I don't have to think of all the steps we have to go through anymore. Because honestly, I feel like the last couple months, that was the biggest stress, is getting her here.
Yeah, everything else, God was, really coming through and just showing up in partner development and all that stuff. Got a lot of encouragement, fighting through certain things, through certain people like yourself, also just helping us through that. But it was Bailey, that uncertainty of what that's going to look like.
Yeah, because right before we landed, or no, not landed, even just took off, we have a 10-day period to get her veterinarian test approved, stamped, that she's going to be able to fly with us. And it was just so much stress because it was up to almost the last day, because we were leaving on a Tuesday, and we got everything stamped by Friday, and that almost didn't even happen because I sent it to the wrong place, and it was wild. But it was all the Lord. Just had his fingertip, his fingers in everything, and yeah,
it worked out.
It was crazy.
So yeah, just getting here, getting off the plane, knowing that Bailey was safe, having what we needed, which is each other and Bailey. She's a part of our family. At that point, it was just like, okay, we have arrived. Everything else, we're here. There's nothing else to really worry about.
We just felt like we could finally breathe. Like we made it. We landed. We made it.
Yeah.
And our stuff is here.
Yeah. In the process of getting there, and then obviously you had that sense of relief. You've arrived. No more of these logistical nightmares, if you will, for the lack of a better term. What is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who is about to go through what you went through to get to their destination, to get to their missions field?
What's one?
Sounds like you guys have a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe each of you can share one.
Yeah. I would say, I think what was really helpful for me was to just have someone to talk to who may have been there before, and dealt with the different aspects of that, either fundraising or family dynamics, or anything that creeps up where it starts to cause you to doubt or something. To have someone to talk to just encourage you and support you as best as they can, to no, God, and remind you almost, God has called you to this, and you just have to continue to move forward. So for me, it's finding someone that you trust and knows been there, and if you're fortunate enough to really find someone with practical experience, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's so much advice, do research, do tons of research and stuff. But to be honest, it's really pressing into the Lord. Like Tony was saying, if he's called you, you're going to be there. Just always remember the promises that he's given you, because the enemy is really on the tack before you're launching. And so that's when the stresses are really high. And so if if your foundation is just so strong into the Lord, that it's not easy, but it's a little easier just to okay, God, I know you're calling us. I know you have us. And so it helped a lot, just remembering his promises. And
remembering when you got the call to the invitation to go, what that looked like, what that was like, you know, and trusting in that was true, that was from him, and then just using that to move forward.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's such a I mean, I've not been in the missions field like you guys have, but obviously, me doing missions work on the college campuses of San Diego. Yeah, I feel like I can relate to what you're describing. I think is a dance. It's like,
yeah,
so you've heard something. Now, how do you get there? And what is your part? And how fast do you do it? And when do you slow down? And then there are these thoughts in your mind when you're laying your head down. You're like, well, if I just did this, maybe it would have been different. Like maybe I would have got more financial partners, or maybe if I didn't call them at this point, that maybe they'd be with me on my team, or like these little things that can really mess with you. And then at the end of the day, you're like, wait a minute, if God if God called me to be there, is it means I'm going to be there. And I just have to listen and be patient and move when he wants me to move and do the things
Mhm.
in step with him. Like I can totally relate to that. Just echoing what you're saying.
yeah.